What is good, nation? Welcome to another Raiders Unfiltered. We're going to go ahead and get into it, y'all. We're going to have a lot to talk about, a lot of things developing almost as we speak. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and kick this thing off. Here we go.
J Raider, the creator with the killer content, hot takes and the dopest. Gas Raider Nation, from Oakland to LA to Vegas. Nothing greater than the Raiders, only facts. Just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders. Stand up. Just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders. Welcome to the channel. It's called Just Raiders, baby. If you ain't subscribed, then you gotta try. Just Raiders, baby, nothing but love for the Raiders. Been an OG before 93. Shout out to the nation, they always crazy. So nation, ride with me, taking over my style. It's amazing, making hits like Max on the blitz. The silver and black, on the attack. They on the map, if you a fan and you with that. J Raider, the creator with the killer content, hot takes and the dopest. Gas Raider Nation, from Oakland to LA to Vegas. Nothing greater than the Raiders, only facts. Just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, J Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders. Putting on shows like Brock on the go. We just like J Raider, the innovator, making shows like Good Morning Raiders, the originator. Raiders Unfiltered, raw, never censored. The post game reaction, nothing but action. Just Raiders, baby. Just Raiders. Just Raiders, baby. J Raider, the creator with the killer content. Hot takes and the dopest, yes. Raider Nation, the only nation. There ain't no question.
Just win, baby.
Win, baby.
Just win. Yo, salute nation. Happy Monday. Hopefully, you guys had a good weekend. Welcome to another episode of Raiders Unfiltered. I'm your host. I am Jay Raider. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys head on over, hit that like and subscribe button on your boy. We are on the path to 1,500 subscribers. I'm about 120 away, so really, really close to getting that 1,500. So make sure if you guys are new, hit that subscribe button on your boy. Turn on notifications as news drops. I go on. You don't want to be left on the dark. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate everyone rocking with me on this Monday night. Yo, it's been a busy weekend. It's been a crazy weekend, wild card weekend. We're on the last leg of wild card weekend with the Steelers playing tonight. So I'm not going to be on super long, but did want to go ahead and jump on and talk about a few things, especially that head coaching hunt that is currently going on. As you know, the thumbnail, the hunt for the next head coach is already underway. And man, there has been a lot of names that have popped up. But before we go ahead and get into that, you already know I can't go ahead and really kick off the show without really hitting up my peoples in the chat. Real quick, shout out to Armando in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. What to do? Shout out to Ja in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you tapping in. And Ardell in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you rocking with me on this Monday night. Again, if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit those likes. It does help to go ahead and get the show out into the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate you guys. Really quick, hang on 1 second. Just want to go ahead and check one thing. Okay. Never mind. Don't know what's going on with my StreamYard today. But all right, let's go ahead and get things under the way, y'all. Um, as you know, the headline, the thumbnail, the title of the show, "The Hunt for the Next Head Coach," is underway, and I'm gonna go ahead and share the potential list for the head coaches that is currently going on. We have arrived in the off season, so you already know we're we just let go of old man Pete last week, so we didn't we didn't waste no time in trying to go ahead and locate our next future head coach. This I think this hire is probably one of the most important hires we've had in I don't know the last 10 years. I mean, every time we have to go through this coaching carousel, it's almost on repeat. We got to say this. The head coach has to be the most important hire, but I think the stakes have been raised now that we have secured the number one pick in the 2026 draft. Um, so much on the line with having the number one overall pick. There's so many ways that we can go. We have basically all the leverage right now in the draft. So this being a year which all intents and purposes, this is a rebuild year. We need to go ahead and get this right. We need somebody here that's going to be here for not only the foreseeable future, but on a long term basis as well. So, lot on the line. Spytech has a big task. Like I said, this is Spytech's prove it year. This is the year that you really gonna go out there, and we're gonna find out what he's made of. Right? Is he the guy for the job? This is the year where you can go ahead and start really making those assessments. But let's go ahead and kick things off with the head coach potential list, and I'm gonna go back all the way to um, at the basically last year, at the tail end of last year. Shout out to Ryan Holmes. He kind of put this list out here. Um, so you got Chris Shula, Michael Four, Clint Kubiak, Jesse Mentor, Brian Flores, Joe Brady, Adam Stinovich, Cliff Kingsbury, Robert Sala. There's some other names that are on this list that are not mentioned, but this is kind of the brunt of it, right? We can go ahead and add a couple more names um, to that list as well. One for sure that Eve is not on. Well, Harbaugh is is the one that stands out for sure that is not on this list as well. That now we can go ahead and kind of add in the list. But this is kind of just rough of what the potential candidates are currently out there. At one point, I thought maybe Matt LaFleur was going to be one of those candidates. It looks like he's going to go ahead and stay in Green Bay. I doubt he gets dismissed from his duties out there in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So we'll see what happens there. There's rumors of them possibly coming into terms on a deal to go ahead and extend them for the next few more years in Green Bay. So we'll see what happens there. But another big name will be out there if he does become available um, in the short future. Let me go ahead and go over this list, and this is going to be um, the list of the ones that we've already conducted interviews. So let me go ahead and put this back up here. And again, we've already conducted interviews completed last week, right? Um, Obviously, big name that stands out, Clint Kubiak, offensive coordinator, Seattle Seahawks. Vance Joseph, defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. Magnati, offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. Kevin Stefanski, ex Browns head coach. And Davis Webb, Broncos quarterback coach, pass game coordinator, also being part of that interview as well. And I think obviously this is probably Raider Nation's favorite. I kind of want to say. I mean, trust me, there's there's a lot of opinions that are currently out there, but I think the big consensus as far as that goes for Raider Nation looks like Clint Kubiak is probably it's most likely the front runner, or the heavy, I should say, the favorite for Raider Nation, and maybe possibly the front runner for the Raiders to go ahead and hire as their next coach. You guys let me know what you guys think down below. We're going to go ahead and go into the interviews requested in just a second. Again, appreciate you guys pulling up and rocking with me on this muddy night. Let me go ahead and take some comments from the chat. Appreciate you guys. Go ahead. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and tap in real quick. Shout out to Armando. He says, whoever's the next head coach, I just hope he brings a winning culture so we can and win games. Facts, brother. That's a very good. Well, obviously, that goes without being said. I think there's a little bit more to it, but that is definitely a big step in the right direction. Shout out to my guy Troy. What up, Jay? How do we know if the new coach wants Mendoza or the other quarterback? That is a great question, my guy. Salute to you. And I'll go ahead and touch on this for just a bit. I was really gonna go ahead and really go into a big rant. Add this big rant planned out. No, but honestly, I keep going back to the vision needs to be aligned. I've said that, in different shows with the guys solo, the vision needs to be aligned. So I think the real question should be, what is the vision of this organization? Is it going to be Fernando? Is it going to be truly to go ahead and build out this roster? What is the goals for this organization? And whatever those goals are, the next guy who comes in is going to be very closely aligned to those goals. But we're going to go ahead and get into Mendoza and all the other stuff in just a bit, but that is a good question, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. Shout out to Ja. Clint Kubiak left an impression on Tom Brady. Spytech wasn't there. It was at Indiana versus Oregon game. I hope that's true, bro. I hope that's true. I haven't heard too much about that as far as the dynamics of that interview, but I hope what you said was right, bro. Shout out to my guy 805 in the building. Appreciate you pulling up, my guy. Salute. Shout out to Raider Paul in the building. You already know. He's already with the Raiders. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you tapping in. Let's see here. All right. Josh says via Albert Sports. SF said Kubiak wants his own QB when he had the Zoom call with Tom. Well, that can mean a lot of things too. That can mean a lot of things. Not necessarily does that mean Mendoza, but I don't know. You can go out and say, you know what, I want this quarterback, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Mendoza, if that's true. So, shout out to Space Beast in the building. Salute. This is a serious coach search. Yes, it is, bro. It is a fucking serious coach search for sure. Let's see. Shout out to Jeff in the building. Salute, my guy. Appreciate you pulling up. Let's see. Space Clint Eastwood, Kubiak hopefully beats the Niners again. I'm gonna be watching that game. So, yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one for sure. James in the building. Clint Kubiak as head coach. Well, that is still yet to be determined. There's a lot of good prospects out there, but we're going to go ahead and get into that for sure. But let's go back to the list. All right. Let me bring this down real quick. Okay. All right. So the interviews requested. So now we got interviews that have been requested. Again, I just went over the list of the head coaches that interviewed already. Clint Kubiak, Vance Joseph, Matt Natty, Kevin Stefanski, and Davis Webb all being interviewed up until last week. Um, the the interviews that have been requested so far have been Jeff Halfley, Mike LaFleur, Chris Shula, uh, Eugeo Evero. He's a defensive coordinator of the Panthers, and Nathan Shasaski. I butchered that name. I'm not even gonna try, but these are the guys who've been requested for interviews. Hopefully, we get to go ahead and see these guys soon. Again, these are the guys who are being requested to go ahead and come in and do interviews with us in the next uh, this next week. So Jeff Heafley being one of them. He is a Packers defensive coordinator, so we'll probably see him coming now that the pack has been officially eliminated from the playoffs. I think as of probably tomorrow, they can officially start coming into the building and doing in-person interviews. As you guys know, if you guys not aware, league rules, they if they are still in the playoffs, they cannot come into the building to go ahead and conduct in-person interviews. They would have to go ahead and do that through Zoom calls, virtual interviews, um, via telephone, via video phone, right? So that's where you had um, Clint Kubiak do his Skype or Zoom interview through that. So, those are little workarounds. So we can still interview people. Just there's certain guys if they're still in the playoff hunt. So as far as like, I think Michael Flores is set to do his this week. Chris Shula, I believe, even though it says I think he's already done his sometime over the sometime late. Okay, sorry, my bad. Sometime late last week, if I'm not mistaken. I heard somewhere that he already did his, but I think he's still being requested. But either way, those guys would have to go ahead and do that through Zoom interview. So, what do you guys think about about the amount of coaches that we interviewed so far? The guys that we requested interviews. Who do you guys like? I already heard a couple Clint Kubiaks. So you guys sound off down below. Let me know who you guys would want to see or who do you guys like or your top three for head coach candidates, for them to go ahead and come in and interview or just plain out be the next head coach. Who do you guys like? Let me know. Tell me why. Tell me why they should be the next guy. We have a lot of reasons. We have guys who want, the young OC. We want somebody. We have people who want the experience head coach. And age doesn't matter. We just went through the oldest head coach in NFL in the NFL. We just went ahead and part of. We know that didn't work. We went too far to that spectrum. Um, but you guys let me know in the chat. Who do you guys like? We're gonna go ahead and talk about this really quick. Um, and y'all already know. But before I do, let me go ahead and pull up the chat real quick. Again, appreciate you guys tapping in and rocking with me on this Monday night. Let me just put this up. And again, if you guys haven't done so, hit that subscribe button on your boy. Does go a long way to go ahead and really support the show and really get the show out into the YouTube algorithm. All right, let me go ahead and put this up. Okay, all right. So let me go to the chat. Josh says, I want the Seahawks to lose to make it faster for us to get Kubiak. Josh has no fucking patience. He's like, fuck that. Give me my fucking coach, and I want it right now. I don't give a damn. Give me my next head coach. I know, bro. I know. There you go. He says, I heard that Kubiak will choose where he will interview first. If he comes here first, means he's done deal. If he doesn't, then give me Mike LaFleur, Rams OC. Now, this is the thing. I heard he just interviewed with us and the Ravens. He hasn't really um, done any, because I'm pretty sure he's gotten more requests than just us and the Ravens, but actually conducted interviews. He hasn't really conducted any other interviews. Well, this is Monday. He had all last week, so he hit us. He hit the Ravens, and that's really been it. There really hasn't been. He really hasn't done any other interviews with any other team. So looks like Clint has us pretty high on his list of teams that he would want to go ahead and coach at. I mean, come to think, I mean, we have the number one overall pick. We're gonna have over 100,000 in salary cap, over 100 mil in salary cap this coming season. So we're gonna have a lot of maneuverability and to do the things that a head coach would want to go ahead and do, right? So go out and try to get the guys in free agency that he feels that are going to go ahead and be the best fit for their system, for the philosophy. Having the number one pick, we have leverage, whether you're for getting a quarterback and using that number one pick or trading back, whatever their mindset is. Again, like I said, it's up to this regime, right? The front office, what their goals are. If they're really high on Mendoza, their aspirations are get a quarterback. You already know they're going to go ahead and try to get a head coach that is on the same wavelength. The biggest thing, the biggest disconnect we just went through is just having a front office that has their own agenda and having coaching staff that has their own agenda. So two completely different agendas did not spell success at all. We just went through that. So now they're going to go ahead and make sure that is aligned. Everybody's on the same page, and they know that this thing is not going to get done in one season or 2 seasons. We're really not going to really see the benefits of this thing play out until maybe year 3. So, whoever is going to come in is going to be on that wavelength, knowing that they're going to be here for quite a long time, at least 3 years, right? No, that's a long time. Y'all don't think that's a long time? That's a long time because most of our coaches only last 1 or 2 season tops. So, but let me go ahead and take a couple more comments before we go on to the next segment here. And man, you already know we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about that. Shout out to Raider Ryan. Congrats on your championship belt. Okay, so he's talking to Jess. All right, my bad. Armando says, I heard today that John Harbaugh was talking to the Raiders. We're going to get into that part. That is up next for sure. Let's see. Josh says, whoever gets it, whoever it is, gotta be OC. I'm worried about DC being a head coach because now they hire offensive coordinators. Some be bad or worse. I don't want to go through that again. Okay. So essentially, if I'm reading this correctly, is that Josh hopes to go ahead and get an offensive-minded coach. He's worried about having another defensive-minded coach come in, because usually the offense kind of lacks a little bit, or the offense is not as strong as it would be if an offensive minded head coach came in and really build his team out. So, yes, we just got through Pete. Pete, 100% defensive minded coach. Did not work, but that also worked. That didn't work for so many other reasons as well, not just because he's that guy, but you can also go back, to think the guy before him, Tony Pierce, another defensive minded coach, did not work. So we're on that slope, but the guy before him wasn't much good either. We were better. We were better. He was better compared to this past year, but yeah, not too much. It's just hard. It's just hard with the past 3 or 4 coaches we've gone through. Hasn't been a pretty thing. So, shout out to Anthony in the building. Salute, brother, already with the Mendoza avatar. Salute, brother. Thank you, man. That is dope. I like that. Appreciate you pulling up, my guy. Salute, salute. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the next segment here. And the head coach search is already wild as it is. And if you think it can't get any wilder, there was a fucking monkey wrench that got thrown in just a little while ago. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this up. And again, shout out to my guy, Raiders Resistance. If you don't follow Raiders Resistance, make sure you guys go ahead, head on over, give my guy a follow. And if you're on X, go ahead and give him a follow as well. He is on X now, so make sure you guys go ahead and hit that follow button for my guy Raiders Resistance. But this came out today. John Harbaugh contacted the Raiders for the head coaching job. That is fucking wild. And we went through the list earlier that potential candidate. And I've seen other posts from other media outlets, or claiming to have close sources or close ties, whatever, to the Raiders. Harbaugh hasn't been on that list. And you know what's the crazier part? Harbaugh got canned, I think, beginning of last week. And in that time, we haven't seen anything that he's been requested to go ahead and interview. Right? And then now this comes out that he actually reached out to the Raiders for a possible interview. So this was put out earlier by Adam Schefter. He put out, while the Falcons announced an official interview with former Ravens head coach John Harbaugh, he already has been conducting preliminary and extensive phone calls with the Giants, Titans, Browns, Raiders, and Cardinals. He's trying to determine who will meet with them later this week into next week before making a decision. So he's fully to go ahead. He's fully expected to coach in 2026. So he's trying to figure out a schedule, but normally, you have teams reaching out and trying to go ahead and facilitate an interview process, and especially if you're out job hunting. If you ever job hunted and you apply to all these places, sometimes getting all these callbacks, and there's just like, fuck, I can't. Like I'm gonna have to hop interview after interview after interview. Well, for head coaching guys, especially a guy who's on the market now, who can go ahead and really shop around, he has a pretty clear schedule in a sense. But now he has to go into the offices. That's not really kind of, hey, let me go here, let me go, my other interviews across town. So he kind of has to plan this out. But I find it interesting that he actually reached out to the Raiders into that head coaching position. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Would you guys be open to John Harbaugh coming over to the Raiders? Is that something that would make sense for the Raiders, let me know. Let me know in the comment section. Again, appreciate you guys pulling up and rocking with me on this Monday night. But this is my thing here with the whole John Harbaugh thing. I don't know if he's necessarily going to be a good fit. We had things come out last week that you know he's asking teams to go ahead and kind of part ways with their GM and have that kind of majority control over the team. Um, and for one, that's not going to work here. We kept Spy Tech. We could have sent Spy Tech with his bags packed along with Pete. We chose not to do that. We're going to go ahead and run with Spy Tech for another year. And again, this is according to the front office, right? So they're happy with Spy Tech. We've heard those reports come out throughout the season, up until the end of the season. That they were good with him. They want to see what he can go ahead and be able to put together now that he has, Pete's gone, and we're going to go into a full rebuild, right? I don't know if John Harbaugh's philosophies, his mindset is going to necessarily align with those of John Spytek, Tom Brady, especially if their mindset, their heart is already dedicated to, like, they're already set on a Fernando Mendoza. If they've already liked this kid and they're like, hey, we're gonna go QB and we're gonna build around that. His mindset might not be particularly that way. So I know that obviously, he had Lamar Jackson for all those years, and they're always that team that you could expect in the postseason. They're always either winning the division or right there contending for the division or getting in through a wild card spot, whatever, yada yada. John Harbaugh, whether he has ability to win is not in question. I think what really is in question here is whether his philosophy is really going to fit in to this organization. If really he's going to be on, he's really set on wanting to go to and really draft a young quarterback and bring him in and develop him. What's his plans for that? Now, again, no interview has been set. I haven't heard or seen anything yet that they're going to go ahead and bring him in for an interview. But this really, really raises some eyebrows as far as what's his mentality like towards this? What's his thought process in regards to going out and getting a young quarterback? Is that something he's really open to? Is that something he's excited about, or he's not? How what are his thoughts? What are his thoughts about really building a team together, because that's really what it's going to require for the next guy to come in. They really have to go ahead and build this team together. So I don't know. You guys, again, let me know your thoughts on this. Love to go ahead and hear what you guys have to say in regards to possibly having John Harbaugh come over to the Raiders and potentially be the next head coach of the Raiders. Again, appreciate you guys rocking with me on this Monday night. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and go back to the comments. Let's see here. Shout out to No Face. He says, "What team do you think Patrick Graham will go to?" I'm not sure, bro. I mean, there's going to be some vacancies. Hopefully, it's not within the division, because if Minter gets picked up, if he gets a job somewhere, that's going to leave it a vacancy towards the Chargers. I haven't really heard of him. I think maybe like once I forgot what team requested to go ahead and interview him as for head coach. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember to put the life of me right now. But yeah, I think for him it's probably going to be another DC post. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a head coaching position per se. So um, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Bueno says if Harbaugh wants to coach us and not try to get rid of Spytech, I'm sold. And that's the thing, bro. I don't know. We saw those reports come out. And I don't think it's cap, bro. I think like something has been said to insinuate that he wants to go ahead and bring in his own guys. So again, we'll be back to this if that's true and he comes out and interview saying that and they're really considering that, we're gonna be back and they part ways with Spytek. We're gonna be back in the same boat. Same boat. Would it be better? Probably, but how much better? I don't know. And are you really going to go ahead and fire Harbaugh in a year or two if it doesn't work out? If it's not working out, we're not contending. We're not in that playoff mix. Come year 3, year 4, are we parting ways with Harbaugh? I don't know. So that to me, this kind of sends a red flag. I think for me, it's going to be Spytek and a young head coach to go ahead and really build this team out the right way. Josh says John Harbaugh wants to be here just to play against his brother. Hope Brady don't fall for that. Me too, bro. Me too. Anthony says hell no, bro. I'm not doing that. There you go. If Kubiak, then if not, next choices. Okay. Alex says Harbaugh demanding full control like Belichick, so I don't think it would happen here. I agree, bro. I don't think it would happen either. Um, I think they'll probably bring him in. So if you guys see that, I want to go ahead and hit the panic button on that. I think it's in the best interest to go ahead and interview as many candidates as possible to go ahead and try to, find the right one. Right. No positive needed to find the right one. But it, you also get to kind of peek into some of these guys' thought process. So if this guy, if you face this guy and he gets a job and you face him, later in the season, probably you got to peek in a little bit into his philosophy, into his system, and kind of the way they kind of operate. So it's not always a bad thing bringing these guys in for an interview. Troy says only if he coach and not be the GM and coach, and he knows Spytek when they both in Philly. So he knows Spytek when they're both in Philly. Okay. I don't know, bro. The thing with Harbaugh, he's been around the block. If we were having the media kind of put out statements where he's looking to go ahead and have, asking teams if they're willing to go ahead and part with their GMs. Yeah, control. That's what they want. He wants full control of the team. He doesn't want to go ahead and have to deal with anybody, any pushback on guys that he wants to go ahead and bring in. He wants, again, it always goes back. The vision has to be aligned. So he has his own vision. And if it doesn't fit in to what he wants to go ahead and do, there's going to be a lot of conflict, a lot of problems. And we just went through that again with Pete. I think they try to play it off. They played it off pretty well. And obviously they try to play it off, but they were not eye to eye. And I don't expect the coach and the GM to be 100% eye to eye and aligned, but it should be at least fucking 90 to 95% aligned. They should be on the grand scheme of things. They should be on that fucking wavelength. If not, we're going to have issues. We're going to have drama. We're going to have disagreements, and it's not going to look pretty. So, shout out to JM. He says McDaniels wouldn't be the worst thing. Smart dude, Mike McDaniels. Um, I'm not opposed for him to go ahead and come in and interview for the head coach role, but do I see him as potentially the next head coach? No, but don't I want to be 100% surprised if he comes in as an OC for us. That would be a crazy move. That would be a cool move. Again, it would be up to the head coach to go ahead and really make that pick if that's the way they really want to go ahead and go. Let's see here. Bueno says Harbaugh won a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. He did. He did. Um, the guy could win. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm just saying that maybe what Spy Tech and Brady want might not necessarily be what Harbaugh wants, or the way they would go about it. They all want everybody wants to meet at the same path, but how you get there is really the big thing here. Because if he feels his path is John Harbaugh feels his path is the best way, Spy Tech and Brady have their own way, and they go with Harbaugh's way and it doesn't work out. Again, it's another we get set back another 4 or 5 years. It just sucks. It's a lot of pressure, and it sucks to say we have to get this right, but we do have to kind of get it right. Let's see here. Alex says it's good for the Raiders to pick brains of many candidates. Yes, exactly. People act like having an older coach is the worst thing now after Pete. Look at the Donkeys with Peyton. Yeah, bro. And I think Harbaugh's like 61. Pete's 74. He's going to be 75 this year. So that's a big difference. 15 years is a big difference, bro. Especially when we're talking about the golden years, that age, bro. It's a big thing. I don't know. It really does seem that the game passed up Pete by. Like it just sometimes it happens that way. I don't know. Um, yeah. Peyton did rebuild the Donkeys in 3 years. Um, so we'll see what they do this coming weekend. Are they going to be another one and done like the Chokers? I don't know, bro. That's a different conversation. That's a different show. The whole other thing. I'm pretty sure Jeff's going to talk about it on Friday. Good topic, Jeff. There you go. Josh says, reason I want Kubiak, he has more experience than Joe Brady. He has more experience. Joe Brady was my second choice, but he told teams he will return back with the Bills 2026. I haven't seen that, but also I haven't seen any requests to go ahead and for any interviews. So I'm gonna go with you on that one. Yeah, he was my third choice, bro. I really like Joe Brady, and it sucks that he's not gonna come out. If he's gonna stay with the Bills, that's cool. It is what it is, but hopefully, my thing is, if you guys have been rocking with me, I'm a Mike LaFleur guy. Clint Kubiak is my 1B. Shula is my second, third choice. However you want to go ahead and pit them. And we can go ahead and kind of lengthen the list from there. I want to go ahead and put this up. This also came through earlier today. Raiders have requested to interview Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter. This was put out by Ian Rappaport earlier today. I saw this come through. So Raiders have officially went ahead and requested, now that the Chokers are officially out of the playoffs, one and done, surprise, surprise, they went out and requested probably a name that I've heard been floated out quite a bit, and Jesse Minter. Again, now this is a defensive minded coach. I know a lot of people might not being high on that, but he's considered a really hot prospect as far as an up and coming head coach, young guy as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Again, my thing is this: with all these guys coming in, it doesn't hurt us to go ahead and bring these guys in to interview. If Minter stays with the Chargers another year, we get to at least um, peek in these guys' minds and see kind of how they operate a little bit. We're not getting the playbook by all means, but like Alex said, it's always good to pick brains of many candidates. You know, you get to go ahead and see kind of how they operate. So, especially when it's within the division, it's a good thing. But I like this move. I hope that he does come in and we're able to go ahead and get this interviewed, nailed down. I'll be very interested to see how that pans out. If we hear good things, but yeah, this came out earlier today, and something that we hope to go ahead and expect to see the Raiders go out and request Jesse Minter to come in and interview for the head coaching gig, the open head coaching gig that we currently have. So, again, what do you guys think about Minter also coming in and interviewing? You guys, let me know your thoughts. Appreciate you guys rocking with me on this Monday night. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button on your boy. Appreciate you guys. Salute to everybody in the building um, on this Monday night. All right. We're going to go ahead and keep this thing rolling. Again, I'm not going to be on for too much longer unless you guys go ahead and bring in those comments, guys, questions. Go ahead and put those up, and we'll go ahead and keep this thing rocking for a little while longer. So, I don't know what's going on with my chat today. Normally, I'm able to go ahead and put up the comments here, but I think something happened with my StreamYard that it doesn't have it in here. So I'm not gonna worry about it. We're just gonna go ahead and go on through. So um let's see here. Josh says fans want Harbaugh because they want the new movie brothers, the new movie brothers fight, John versus Jim. No need. Harbaugh's gonna be 63. Need new fresh blood. Okay. Look, this is the thing. If they like Harbaugh enough, and they're like, hey, we're the vision of the line. All right, cool. Well, fuck it. Let's go with it. I'm not gonna shit in it. But if I have to wear my fucking GM hat, I would go with a younger, more innovative, offensive minded head coach. Now, this is the thing with Harbaugh. He's neither. He's a special teams guy, so he really has to rely on bringing the right offensive coordinator, the right defensive coordinator to go ahead and mesh these guys together to really build this team together. So, um, you know, going into this draft, depending how what ideas he has about that, whether he's really going to go ahead and go after Mendoza or his thought process would be to go ahead and trade back. That's a big thing. So I don't know. Food for thought. Harbaugh is definitely not number one, number two, or number three. He's not plan A, B, or C. I think he's probably more down to plan F if I had to, put a number on it. Or he would be like number 5 or number 6 on that totem pole, bro. So I don't know. Let's see. Josh says Greg Roman won Super Bowl So Greg Roman won Super Bowl for Flacco, not Harbaugh. Okay. Let's see here. No Faces says, as do you think that Ty will get picked up by the Jets? I don't know, bro. It just kind of it would just depends on how desperate they are. He needs a lot of work, bro. Ty needs a lot of work. I expected better things from him this year. Didn't pan out. I think a lot of it was the shoulder injury that really plagued Ty. Who knows, man? Dante can still declare. We don't know. I think I think they have until the 15th. I didn't get a chance to really research the date, but they have a certain time frame where they have to go ahead and declare. Some guys can declare early. Some guys are if they're on the fence. We don't know, right? So to change things, I think if more declares, it only benefits us. Even though we saw the performance that we saw the other day, we can go about it different ways. So we'll get into that part in just a sec. Alex says Broncos had a pretty decent team. They just really needed a better QB. I don't know, man. Bo Nix has been pretty solid, bro. I don't know. I still think he's there's still a lot of growth to be had there, but I don't know, man. Uh, not Bo Nix. Bo Nix and Sean Payne was like a match made in heaven, bro. That's just kind of what it fucking boiled down to. They got that fucking thing right, and so that's why this head coach search is so important because that marriage fucking worked out, right? They're seeing the fucking benefits of it. We're seeing it, like they're having that success. So we're trying to go ahead and replicate that, right? We're trying to have that on our own. So whoever brings in, whoever Spy Tech decides to go ahead and bring in, if they want Fernando, that's a marriage is going to be there for the next 4 years at least. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I'm going to go ahead and move on to this part. And speaking of which, we just said that the next head coach in Mendoza. So again, whoever's going to be the next head coach, are they going to be are they going to be the ones that are going to want to draft Fernando Mendoza? If Fernando Mendoza again is the pick for the Raiders, if this front office, and I'm talking about Tom Brady, John Spytek, if that's a guy that they want, that they're high on, that they're going to go ahead and they're already sold, saying, "Hey, this is the guy, Mendoza, no matter what." Is the next head coach going to be on that same wavelength? On that same wavelength, excuse me. So that's the question, and I think honestly, yes. I think that this front office, and there's a lot of reports that come out that said Tom Brady really is high on Fernando Mendoza. We got Spytek, in attendance. Multiple reports saying that Spytek was in attendance in the Indiana Oregon game. I'm pretty sure he's going to be there for the championship game next week. So I want to be surprised. I want to be surprised having those guys, having Spytek out there. Maybe Tom would be too much of a high profile, but you definitely having those two guys communicate with each other, and they're going to be bouncing off, their thoughts of the game. I think Fernando is in a unique position where he really runs his own destiny, right? He can choose his own path. Unless he has a Dante Moore type game, that's the only way I see his stock falling. That's the only way I see, Tom and Spytek really not choose Mendoza. I mean, he really has an awful mental game where he just straight loses his composure. If he straight loses composure, that's it. And again, there's so much that goes into researching and vetting, these number one picks. You know, obviously Spytek has done it, hasn't ever done it. I don't even know when's the last time Tampa Bay even had the number one pick, that the number one overall pick. We haven't had it in close to almost 20 years, but there's so much that goes into the vetting process of if the next pick is going to be a quarterback or whoever it's going to be. The vetting process is huge, huge. Like I said before on previous shows, like they're probably going to go talk to, the elementary school friends to see like what type of character this kid was. The thing with Fernando, his character literally is so bright and really on display for everybody to go ahead and see in the media. But it's the things that you don't see, the things that are behind the camera, the things that are off the field that will really go into the thought process and consideration of this number one pick of this gentleman Fernando Mendoza, right? So yeah, Spytek and Tom have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. And it's not going to stop after Mendoza. If Mendoza, which looks like Mendoza will probably win next week. Don't know. Don't discount Miami. Don't discount the U. Top the best, basically top defense next to fucking Ohio State. So it's going to be very interesting. That game is going to be very interesting. I'm very excited to see that. I want Fernando to go ahead and see some adversity. I want to see every type of fucking of scenario that they can possibly throw at this kid to see how he can overcome it. If they use up by like 2 touchdowns before the half or by halftime, I want to see how this kid overcomes it after halftime in the second half. Because that goes to show you the type of character he is. Obviously, there's some things that, the play calling is the play calling, but the composure, the reads, the throws, all that important stuff is what you want to go ahead and look at, right? As far as a football player, Fernando Mendoza. Now, the character off the field is going to be a different story. That also is something you got to go ahead and consider. As mind you, our team is based out of the entertainment capital of the world, and that does go a long way as well. The headlines. We don't want to see our guy in the headlines either. But as far as it comes to quarterback and probably in this quarterback class that's coming out, which is very, very slim. But even comparing it to last year, I think this guy is probably the best version, and probably is.
He's pro ready. End of story.
I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Because I'm hearing different sides of the spectrum. The majority of the fan base and a lot of media, and there's also a lot of content creators are very high on Fernando Mendoza. I like Fernando Mendoza. I've gone back to some tape from the Cal days, and obviously up until now, haven't dissected it. That's not my forte, But I also like to go ahead and I'm the eye test guy as well. So I want to see what he's able to go ahead and do on the field on a consistent basis. So I like Mendoza. My thing has always been if our biggest need, which it is, quarterback, you got to go ahead and address it. You can't put this off any longer. You're in the best position that you can be to go ahead and address this. I'm going to go ahead and get to the next segment because I'm jumping ahead a little bit. I don't want to do that. But again, I want to go ahead and go to the chat. Salute to everybody who's rocking in the chat on this Monday night. Appreciate you guys. Real quick, shout out to Michael with the $5 super. appreciate you, my guy. He says, no idea why this channel showed up on my recommended. Seahawks fan. Sorry about Gino and Pete. Glad. Good luck to your French. Hey, brother. Hey, appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate your $5 super. I think you're rocking out with probably my guys Leo or Jeff. That Jeff's in the chat. But I think I seen your name somewhere. I thought I saw you last week. So I don't know, but either way, appreciate you, my guy. I'll be rooting for you guys on the NFC side. Hopefully Clint could go ahead and go off in the sunset with a Super Bowl win, and or at least a really, really fun Super Bowl. Hopefully that's in the works for you guys. So we'll be interested. It'll be interesting to see you guys next week for sure, or this weekend. This weekend coming up for sure. So appreciate you, my guys. Salute to you. All right. Let's see here. Josh says dream signing center Tyler Lindenbaum, right attacker Baden Smith, wide receiver Romeo Dobbs. But I feel all these guys will be a tag. Tyler's not going to be a tag. They chose not to tag Tyler. So they're trying to figure that part out. But most likely with Tyler Lindenbaum, they will probably let him go ahead and hit free agency. Because they had the option to go ahead and tag him give him the 5th-year op, but they're trying to figure that contract out. I don't think they might not be that high on him that they're willing to go ahead and part ways with them. I think he's really solid, and I think he would definitely boost up our offensive line almost immediately. If they can't figure the Ravens and him cannot figure this out, we have to fucking jump on him. Jump on the dude. Biotech needs to get on the fucking phone with his fucking agent and figure that shit out and get it done. That would be a big pickup for us in free agency in the offseason before the draft. Because if you can already kind of start in that direction of building your offensive line, you don't necessarily need to go ahead and draft 2 or 3 guys for the offensive line. You might just need one guy in your offensive line just to go ahead and provide depth or as a rotational piece, whatever your heart desires. But that would be a big pickup. Smith, I don't know. Romeo Dobbs, I feel that's probably going to be more likely where he's going to probably stay where he's at. They probably will. They probably will tag him. So let's see. Troy says, going to see how Mendoza plays against the best defense in Miami with 2 pass rushers that will play in the NFL. Yes, Bain versus Mendoza is going to be the thing to go ahead and keep your eye on, the thing to watch, and how to respond to him. So I'm very eager to see that. Like I said, I hope fucking Miami throws a kitchen sink at this fucking kid and see how he responds. Because I want to see that. I want to see how he responds to adversity. I want to see how he responds. I mean, I've seen it. I want to really see it. I've seen Mendoza like lit up, right, and bounce back. But I want to see how he does in a fucking championship game like this. This is for the Natty. So I want to see how he responds to that. It's a different beast, right? It's a different beast than a Rose Bowl. So, I want to see how that, or a Big Ten, a division championship game. Big thing, big difference. So I want to see how he responds to that. No Face says it would be crazy if Mendoza pulled an Eli move during the draft and didn't want to be a Raider. I don't know, man. I don't really see that happening with Mendoza. I really think that he's just going to be wherever he goes is going to be wherever he goes. I don't think he has the pull to go ahead and do that. And if it were to, and let's say it were to happen, guess what? I mean, we can go ahead and work that out. But um, we've heard that talk before. We heard that from last year with the whole Shador thing, right? Didn't pan out. So has it happened before in the past? Yes. Would it happen? I highly doubt it. So I don't know. Let's see here. All right. Um, let's see. Agree. Mendoza only cares about football. Yep, for sure. Yeah. See, Alex says Mendoza knows Carr was with us. I don't think he'll ever pull an Eli thing. Yeah, facts, bro. I don't think he'll pull an Eli thing. I think he wants to go ahead and he knows he's going to get paid. He wants to go ball. He's going to be in a a pretty big market. Vegas is a pretty big market, and he's going to get paid handsomely. He's going to be able to go not only the tax write off that I mean not a tax write the tax the state tax incentive where he doesn't have to pay state tax on all the home games he plays there for the next 4 to 5 years. It's probably gonna be longer if he's gonna, the way that we're gonna see it out. It's probably gonna be here for the next 10. If Mendoza is gonna be the guy, so there's a lot of incentives of being here in Vegas. He's a family guy. There's a lot of things you can go ahead and do with that extra money to really take care of your family. We saw like Alex says, Carr was here for 3 4 years before his departure, right? He was able to go ahead and do a lot of charitable stuff with his money and his time. So I mean, it seems like he's very faith is very important to him, and he's on that same wavelength. So um, I don't think because it's Vegas, it's gonna be like, no, I don't want to go to Vegas. So yeah, let's see here. Oh, Jeff says Baltimore does not have to pay the cap to pay him. I assume he's talking about Linderbaum. Uh, Josh says Tyler Linderbaum should be the number one signing when free agency starts. Again, that'll be all if Baltimore and him cannot come to an agreement and they fuck that up. They let him hit free agency. We have to jump on it, bring that guy in to be the next center for the next 3 or 4 years. That'll be phenomenal. That'll be phenomenal. And great thing we already have a fucking backup center, JBJ. But he'll be a true center. That's been doing it for a long time, so it'll be a great move. Shout out to Mobile Raider in the building. Salute, brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Thank you for rocking with me on this Monday night. All right, let's see here, and just in the chat, and I want to bring this up because I'm not I look to pick on Jeff, but there's also been people out there, and I've seen things online as well, right? Should Mendoza be the pick? And you guys are probably like, Jay, what the fuck are you talking about? What, like, are you fucking brain dead or something? It's a serious question to ask. Should Fernando Mendoza be the pick for the Raiders, right? And, I said it before. I was saying it earlier. Us having a clear-cut big issue in one position for so long, I think we're at a point that, and mind you, we've tried so many different things, brought in so many different people, thinking it was a quarterback, thinking it was the system, thinking it was both the quarterback and the system, and finding out that it's all the above, right? We never had a clear cut plan for after Carr, right? Carr really didn't do a whole lot for us in the sense where we weren't showing up to the playoffs consistently year in year out. You see all these other quarterbacks they're able to go ahead and do it on a very consistent basis, right? And we're never able to really do that. We had the great run of 2016 up until he got hurt. Then we had 2021, and we came close with that one, very close. That was a lot of people forgot about that one. That was in recent memory, right? We came close with Burrow and Cincinnati. I think that was Joe Burrow's. That was Joe Burrow's rookie year too. We almost went out and fucking beat Burrow in Cincinnati. Got fucked in the end. Whatever, right? But nonetheless, you know, Raider Nation at a point started knowing like, hey, Carr's not going to be the guy. We never had a succession plan for that. We never had a guy who could sit behind Carr for X amount of time to be the next guy, right? We've always brought those journeyman backup quarterbacks to ride behind Carr in case and if something were to happen, right? That's how this organization treated that situation for many years. And so when McDermott came in and Carr was like, okay, it's either time to put up or shut up, and if I can't produce this year, you can hand me my walking papers, whatever. And he got walked. There was no plan. There was no plan, right? And McDermott thought he could do it with Jimmy Glass and Aiden O'Connell, pass up on CJ Stroud. If you guys haven't heard, Ziegler wanted CJ Stroud. McDaniel said, nope, not on my watch. We ain't gonna be fucking good. Hence, we went out and decided to go ahead and draft Aiden O'Connell, right? And we've been hobbling along ever since. And then coming off a 3-14 season, you know, we had probably the worst display of quarterbacking this year. I was gonna say last year, but I forgot. We went out and decided to go ahead and get Geno Smith. We saw what the fuck happened there. And the worst displaying quarterback this year, that it should be fucking evident that we have a clear problem at quarterback. So how do we resolve this problem, right? And years prior, we didn't have. We were what 13 in 2020, 2024, 23. We ended up 2024, 13 pick. Forgot what we're that the year before. Last year we're 6. We still didn't address it. Now we have a solution. We have the number 1 overall pick. We have a quarterback who is probably the clear, probably the. Well, I mean the list is short, but it's pretty evident that this kid has a lot of talent. Um, you know, this kid can potentially change the face of organization. You know, he has a skill set, he has the composure, the maturity, you know, to be able to lead a team like this. You know, we can go ahead and talk about his measurables. We talk about his skill sets. You know, we know this guy can read a defense, can pick apart a defense. This guy can sling the ball. This guy can fucking run. You know, you name it, he can fucking do it, right? But should he be the pick? What do you guys think? You guys let me know in that chat. I want to know before I give you my answer. Well, you guys should already know my answer. If you don't, you guys don't know me that well. But what are you guys' thoughts? Should Fernando Mendoza be the pick, or should we do what some people say? We should trade back, get more picks, build a team from there, wait for maybe next year, get a different quarterback, and see what pans out there. Roll the dice, right? We're gonna roll the dice on a potential if we even get to a top 10 next year. We don't know. What do you guys think? Again, appreciate you guys rocking with me on this, Monday night. salute to you guys. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button on your boy. It does go ahead and help to get the show out into the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate you guys. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the chat. Let's see here. Alex says Spytech needs to jump on the deal for Linderbaum. If he is in play, we'll find out. We'll find out by in about a month and a half. We'll know about that part. Shout out to John Leon in the building. Salute, brother. Appreciate you tapping in. Let's see here. Alex says, yep, no good plan for replacing Carr. Yep. No faces. We got the big dumbass curse. Facts, dog. Facts. Bueno says, I just don't get why Harbaugh would want to interview with us. If Spytech is leading the search, what's Harbaugh telling Spytech? Hey, I like to coach the Raiders, but sorry, Mr. Spytech, you got to go. Yeah, dog. I don't know. I don't know if his mindset has changed, or maybe he's willing to go ahead and make the exception with Spytech. I don't know. I mean, you got to be living out under a fucking rock to know that John Spytech's leading the search for the next head coach candidate. There's been official organization media that put out, hey, Tom Brady and John Spytech are going to lead football operations in the search for our next head coach. I don't know. Maybe he has a plan for the Raiders. I don't know. And that's an interesting question. So my thing is this: why not bring him in to interview? You're not losing anything but time, right? And you're only bettering your list. You know that you're out interviewing. You're doing your due diligence because you never know. We don't know. We're on the outside looking in. We're basing off our assumptions or our thoughts off what's being portrayed to us via media, right? X, Instagram, all that shit. You know, guys like Ian Rappaport, Jordan Schultz, et cetera, et cetera. We don't know. We just go off by what's being broadcasted out there. So my thing is, fuck it. Let John Harbaugh come in for an interview. You know, what's the worst thing that could happen? That where we figure out that he's not the guy. We weren't high on him to begin with because we didn't put out a request from the get go since he became available. So, yeah. Alex says we rolling with Mendoza. Heck yeah! There you go, bro. There you go. Laker Nation says Mendoza all the way. We need a franchise quarterback. Talk, my guy. Talk. John says get Mendoza, trade Crosby, get another first round and more. You know my thought process on that, dog. But that's not like the horriblest idea either. So, but I'm not about trading away my guy Max. I think he needs to fucking be able to see the fruits of his labor here. You know, he's fucking gone through hell and back. So I think he deserves to go ahead and see this thing play out. But I get where you're coming from. You gotta carry the offer, see what happens. I think Jeff has worked on me enough where, you know, he has me already saying like, you got to pick up the phone and hear the offer type shit. Troy says, I would trade back, pick up picks, and quarterback from Oregon, and Ole Miss comes out. Okay, and I'm glad that Troy said this, and I'm not trying to pick on you, dog, but it's that thought where you would trade back to pick up these picks. For one, we don't know if Moore's going to come out, right? We don't know if Chamberlain is going to come out. So, for one, it might look like Dante is going to stay another year. Two, Chamberlain might stay with Ole Miss. We don't know. I haven't heard anything that maybe I'm wrong. Something was put out that Chamberlain already declared, cool. I haven't heard anything that he's already put to declare. I know um I know this kid from Arizona is gonna go ahead and he declared he committed to LSU, Sam Levitt, right? Jeff put it out on our group chat the other day, or was Nate. So LSU got his guy, right? A lot of the talk, a lot of the rumors that Chamberlain was going to go ahead and go to LSU, reunite with Lane Clifton. Guess that's not going to be it. He's probably going to stay at Ole Miss. I don't know. He had a really good year at Ole Miss. He just got to Ole Miss. So I don't know, right? We just don't know what the intentions of these two guys are. Now, if they do, both these guys do declare, now you got options. Now that's not such a bad idea, but we don't know yet, right? My thing is this: there's nothing that says that we have to go ahead and fill every fucking position of need in one single season, like with like the best players, right? I don't think you can even get it done. It will be. It's a very hard thing. That's why I say like I don't see us really being. Releasing the benefits, meaning we address every position with key players until next year, 27. I really think that, because we have about 18 spots to go ahead and fill up. I think we have like 21 free agents, from what I remember. That's a lot of guys. We only have 10 draft picks. A lot of that's going to get filled up in free agency. We got 100 mil. We're going to have over 100 mil. I don't think you can get it done this year, all of it. I don't think you could, even if you tried. I don't know. It's a very hard thing. I think you're going to have to go through some of the cheap routes and whatever, right? But either way, you trade back, maybe get another, 2 or 3 more picks. Yes, they're top picks. But again, you just don't know how these guys are going to pan out. The majority could fucking bust for all I know. And Mendoza can ball out. We could definitely go that way. Or we might get 2 or 3 guys that not pan out and the rest are bust. We don't know, right? Or majority can or half majority can pan out. We don't know. All of it's a gamble. But the thing is that you have to make the best educated guess. The best educated guess and the most dire need position is at quarterback. You can go ahead and build, like I said, if you get Linderbaum, that's a guy that most likely will hit free agency. They did not pick up that 5th-year option. If you're able to go ahead and get guys like him, get a right tackle, you filled in 2 positions. The offensive line is probably the dire need outside of quarterback, right? We already have Colton Miller. We know he's good. We got JBJ back. We know he's good, right? We got some gems and Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant. We can see what pans out there. The rest of the guys are most likely not going to come back. Don Palm, he's gone. Kappa, I don't think he sticks around. I think he got a 2-year. So I think contractually he's here with us. If he stays, it's a death play. I don't see him starting. Everybody else is probably going to kick rocks. So, again, you don't have to fill in all the positions with home run hitters year one. This might take a 2 or 3 year process to really go ahead and solidify all your pieces. Again, you see guys like, Liam Cohen, they were able to go ahead and have success year one. Ben Johnson have success in year one. But why is that? Majority of the pieces are already in play. We have a lot of ways to go. This is going to be a long process. It's not going to be a short process. So my thing is this: if you're able to go ahead, if you have the number 1 pick, you have the biggest need, address the biggest need. So I don't know. Bueno says CJ stumbled versus McRogers. Let's see. No Face says, me personally, I would trade back and get more picks to fix our main issues. You can always find QBs in the NFL. But this is the thing, bro. That's what we've been doing. So what you're saying is we're gonna continue on doing the same thing, expecting a different result? I don't know. To me, that sounds like the definition of insanity, bro. Been going through that. A lot of our fan base are going fucking nuts. That would only make sense if, again, something like that would make sense if you're getting like a Dante Moore, right? And you're bringing in a bridge quarterback because Moore would automatically, I think, would have to sit. You would have to sit. You would have to give him a good full year of sitting behind, whoever you want to bring in, right? For that to even potentially even make sense or work out. I don't know. But for me, I would not do that. I don't know. We tried that and it has not worked, bro. It has not worked. Yeah, so yeah. Don't encourage them, Jeff. God damn it. Let's see. Bueno says Chamberlain is suing the NCAA. Okay. Uh, uh, I don't know. I don't know if he would end up in the draft. We'll see. I think they have a few more days to declare. It's a 12 today, so 3 more days. I don't know if maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know the time frame on when they have to declare by. From what I know, it's the 15th. Shout out to Jason in the building. Salute, brother. How about we draft Mendoza, play him for 2 years, trade him to get 5 picks? Sounds like a Jeff move all the way, bro. I like it. John says, we do have another 4th round pick for trading Jacoby Myers. Also, yes, we have quite a bit of 4th round picks. That's going to be interesting. You can always make a move there. So I don't know. We'll see. You never know. We saw Spy Tech move up and down the draft board last year. I have a strong feeling it's going to be the same thing come this draft. So we might potentially turn one. We might potentially pick up 2 extra picks. You never know. It could potentially go that way. It could happen in the 2nd round. It could happen in the 3rd round. It might happen in the 3rd round because I think. Hang on 1 second. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Trying to look at the draft order. Let me go through a mock draft real quick. I'm not going to do a mock draft. But what I'm saying, like, I'm trying to look at the draft order. Okay, let's see here. So I know that we have the 36th pick in the 2nd round, and I believe we have the 3rd pick in the 3rd round. So I think what the play might be, if I had to take a wild guess, is that Spytek might trade down that 3rd round pick and pick up another one, pick up another 4th, or pick up another 3rd. It just depends who he trades with. Or you can always trade down that number 2, that 2nd round pick to a lower one, pick up another 2nd or another 3rd, just like he did last year. So there's different ways that he can go about that. I wouldn't be surprised. Also, too, some players might get traded. You never know. Shit could potentially go that way as well. So we talked about like the whole train of Aiden O'Connell, but hey, Mike Mayer, guy who had a pretty good year, is also out there. If the next head coach, whoever that may be, is not on the same wavelength of having 2 top tight ends, it's like, hey, I just want one. I want to run with the one good. I want to run with Brock. We got Big Mike. We can run with Ian Thomas or where the fuck they want to bring in. Cool. Let's do that, right? And they can trade away potentially Mike Mayer. and get an extra. They can probably maybe get a third round pick. I don't know, fourth. I don't know. I don't know what his value is offhand. But if I had to guess, fourth at the latest, he's pretty good. But yeah, um, some guys might not want to run with 12 personnel. I don't know. So all of that thing is important as well if you think about it in the grand scheme of things. So yeah. Let's see here. Alex says Dante Moore has a huge upside, but is going back for another year. May be good for him, and I think that's probably going to be the consensus that he might go back for another year to Oregon, even though that kid just committed to Oregon. I've heard reports that he's willing to go ahead and sit behind Dante if he decides to go ahead and stay there for another year. If not, then obviously he starts. But yeah, so nothing is for sure with Dante. So we'll know in the next few days what's going to happen there. Jason's like, then we trade Gentry for 3 picks. Oh, wow. We're just going to go ahead and trade away the whole fucking team and just start from scratch. There you go. There you go. John says our online will improve now that we got rid of Pete Carroll's kids, and our online will be able to play instead of Pete's rejects. Facts, dog. Facts plus tax. 100%. Hampton did squad for Chokers last game. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. I think he was injured or something. I fucking hate both those teams. I decided not to watch that one. I watched every game aside from that. That's the one I was like, fuck it, tune out. And then I come to check out the score. I just pulled up the score and I knew the game was over. And I was like, what the fuck? Damn. That was a fucking funny ass game. Oh, but yeah, I decided not to pull up for that one. I was like, man. See, Jason. Hey, Jeff, I think we have a new draft pick champion. Jason says get 30 first round picks and still suck. Facts. Oh, yeah. See, Jeff's like, the biggest need is we need another tight end, so let's do it. Yeah, bro, for sure. Right? We need fucking four badass tight ends, bro. No wide receiver one either. There you go. Josh says Todd, who criticized Mendoza, saying that he is in a first round pick, should be more after they got belt to ass. He's changing his attitude by saying Mendoza is a one and done QB. I don't know, bro. I don't know. That dude that dude has a lot of great attributes. I don't know. I just have a good feeling about Mendoza, bro. And it's just the way he reads the defense, the way he slings it, decision making process, bro. Is just it's fucking there. The way the way he leads the team, the confidence, bro. It's all that shit. It's important. The character's a big thing for me, So, um, I think he can fucking change the team, but you know, I don't know. I'm not the GM, so but if I had to choose, I'm addressing the quarterback. If it's more, I'm cool with more. You know, so if and this is the thing, if Dante Moore declares and we decide to go ahead and trade out that pick, and Moore falls to, I don't know. I think at this point probably go teens, mid to late teens, somewhere around there. Cool with that. You know, if you and it's probably gonna be the Jets you trade with. So I think they have if you get both of their picks, and I think they have 18. You get them at 18. That's not a bad move. But again, you have to have a plan to have somebody to have him sit behind somebody. So that's the thing. You gotta have that plan in place too. So you have to have plan A, B, C, or D, and have even G for everything now. Because with this team, you just never know. Jason said, too many Raider fans are scared. Bottom line, we are in prime position to get a QB that checks all the boxes. Yeah, bro. And that's the thing. Like, you gotta take that risk. Like I said, you can trade back, get picks, draft a guy later on. If Moore and Chamberlain don't declare, then you're having to go ahead and get like a tie, like a Pavia in the later rounds. What if those guys don't fucking pan out, right? Or what if the picks that you drafted, maybe like one or two guys pan out of the extra? So we already have 10, so you got maybe an extra two. And Mendoza goes to the Jets and balls out. What then? We had pass up on another opportunity. Why? Because we felt that we had to go ahead and address all the positions in year one of a rebuild. I don't know. Don't make sense to me. But what do I know? I don't know. Dixon says, I like the names that I'm hearing that we're interviewing. Yeah, bro. I mean, we already interviewed Clint. And I think Clint's going to be probably the best choice, bro. I think it's probably going to be Clint. We said this last year with Ben. So even that, I don't know. But, if it's Clint, if it's Michael Floor, if it's Chris Shula, I'm okay with that. Those three guys, those are my top three guys. If we're having to go to go past that, mind you, we haven't interviewed Salah yet. I think it would be. I like Minter. Minter is the next guy I'd probably put at number 4, even though he's a defensive-minded guy. I still pick Shula over him, and then I probably would go Harbaugh on there, but he's fucking back of the bus type shit. Other than that, I don't know. We would have to bring in more guys, but yeah, I mean, I think it's probably gonna be Clint, man. We'll see. We'll see. Bueno says we can always finish last, and we can always finish last and trade the first round pick and acquire more to trade those players away. Next level thinking. I know we're just saying, bro, but let's be realistic, my guy. We can't always finish last. We can't. I don't think it happens. You've heard these fucking guys. You've heard all these players talk and say that they're gonna go out and fucking try, bro. They're not gonna go and lay down necessarily, right? It had to take the fucking front office to bench all your prime guys to like make them like lower their chances of fucking winning, and whoever we bring in, let's say we bring in Clint. Everybody likes Clint. So let's say we bring in Clint. And do you think we're going to be worse next year or this season coming up 26 than the year that we just finished? That's a big thing, bro. That's a big ask. I don't see that. I honestly don't. Right. But hey, we said that last year too, right? And here we are now. We're going to be better. 3-14. But that's a big ask. A lot of things have to align in order for us to be in a position where we get the number 1 pick again. A lot of things, bro. Alex says another bridge QB like Gardner. John says we need 2 quarterbacks in this draft, maybe 1 in the 4th. I don't know. I don't think you need 2 quarterbacks, but you can double dip. You can double dip. I honestly I don't think you need 2 quarterbacks, to be honest with you. You're probably gonna get your guy where we're gonna draft your primary guy who you're gonna want to draft a quarterback, and then you can get your bridge in free agency. That's it. Use that pick for that second quarterback for a defensive guy. That's a position we need. We have guys wanting to trade back. You know, there's no need to double dip on a QB position like that. I don't see it. Josh says that QB from Nebraska transferred to Oregon either to be QB1 or backup for more. Yeah, bro. Bueno says Gardner wins too many games. Yeah. Joe says if our number one need is QB, let's just draft 10 QBs based on needs, right? I don't know where the fuck you get 10 QBs, bro. That don't make sense. Let's draft 10 QBs. Okay, I don't get it. You draft one every other fucking draft, or draft one every draft. There you go. But when the fuck are you gonna have the number one pick? It's been 17 fucking years since we had the last one, bro. That I think that should be enough said there. Uh let's see. Alex says some team wants to trade for Gino World. Yeah, dog. Send that motherfucker with a bow on there. John says there's no free agent quarterback I would consider, so why not draft the backup in the later round unless you're sold on Gino? I'm not so. I don't know, bro. But guess what we do have? That the guess what fucking quarterback we already have that everybody's in fucking love with. Well, like at least half of Raider Nation is in love with. Number 12, Mr. AOC. He's still on his rookie deal. He's in last year of his rookie deal, so yeah, I don't think we need to go ahead and really draft the backup, bro. Um, you know, we always know that he's always going to be that superhero backup for us for sure. But I get if you draft, bro, you can always draft. You draft them the following year to just in case whoever you draft, if it's Spinoza, if he doesn't work out, bro, or you don't think he works out, but or the year after. If you bring in what you're bringing in is it's a bridge quarterback. That's it for a guy like Mendoza. If that's the plan, if you want to have him sit for a year, half a year, I don't know. I'm not even. I feel like it benefits him to go ahead and have him sit, but I want to have him sit too long. He's the number one draft pick. He's the number one overall pick. You gotta play him at some point. So, yeah. Let's see here. Bueno says Cardinals will give us this first years for Gino, and they guarantee, and they are hold on, and they are guaranteed next year's first for Gino. Sounds like a fair trade, bro. If I could get rid of fucking Gino, get a draft pick back, whatever fucking round, I'll do it. Fuck it. Yeah, I'm not sold on Gino, but whatever. Aiden's here. I'm not an Aiden fan either, but it is what it is. He's here, bro. I mean, he's under contract. He's on a really cheap deal. I think he gets paid like $6 million a year, 6.5 a year, whatever. To sit on the bench, fuck it, whatever. Dixon says Mendoza or fire Spytek. That's where I'm at. I don't think they fire Spytek, so I think it's probably gonna be Mendoza. I think that's what the looks like. That's the route they're going towards. Josh says Bill's about to put the belt to ass on the donkeys. I hope so, bro, because fuck those motherfuckers. Let's see. Take a couple more. Again, appreciate you guys rocking with me on this Monday night. If you guys haven't done so, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button on your boy. It does go ahead and help support the show, support the channel, get the show out into the YouTube algorithm. Appreciate you guys tapping in with me on this Monday night. Let's see. John says, as long as it's Spytek's choice, I'm good with it. Let the GM pick. He's a coach. He's coach for once. Yeah. I agree, bro. 100%. Let him pick. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think whoever it's the real question here is what's Spytek and Brady's mindset? Are they sold on fucking Mendoza, or are they still have doubts, or are they like we're like 85% in. We need to do our due diligence, and then we can be like all in on him, or they're not, right? And if they're not, then okay, cool. What's the plan after that? So if they want to trade back, would I be happy with that? No, not necessarily. But the which would for one, whoever we trade back with, the fucking they have they have to. Can't stress this enough. They have to fucking fleece this fucking team, and the top pick, has to be that fucking home run hitting fucking pick, because you just now opted not to go ahead and get the number one, the best quarterback, the number one overall pick in the draft, to go ahead and get more draft capital. If you weren't sold on them, okay, cool. Who's the next best guy? Are we going defense? Are we going to offense? What's the play here? So that's a lot of questions. So that's more the question that I have for you guys to kind of think about. Like, what do you guys think Spytek's and Brady's mentality is? Where do you guys think their heart and their mind is set at currently? Are they really sold on Mendoza completely, or you think they're like, let's kind of wait and see type of a scenario, right? Jason says, any CJ Stroud lovers in here? I gotta go and see the game right now in a second. Let's see here, but yeah, that's crazy. I gotta go tap into that game. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for today. I wanted to go ahead and just rock with you guys on the Monday night, talk some head coach talk, right? That is the talk of the town. We are back at it again with another head coach hire. Again, the hunt for the next head coach is already underway. We're getting monkey wrenches and things pop out of the woodwork left and right now. So is Clint Kubiak really going to be the guy, the next head coach, or will we get a monkey wrench? And would it be Michael Ford? Would it be Chris Schuler? Or would it be John Harbaugh? We don't know, right? We don't know. And are those guys sold on Fernando Mendoza? Another question that is out there as well. So let's see what happens. But whatever it is, you already know, I'll be rocking with you guys every step of the way here on Just Raiders. Again, appreciate you guys. Everybody who's tapped in with me for the super, for you guys just chopping it up and just talking some Raider football and what our future holds for us and what could it be in the next weeks and months to come, right? Very exciting time, whatever that direction is. Again, we're all doing this together. We're all in the same boat. We're going to figure this thing out. So hopefully Spytek and Brady get this right. Such enormous pressure on them. But the head coach pick is going to be huge because we have the number one pick on the line. So whatever direction that is, everything correlates. Again, the vision has to be aligned. The vision has to be aligned. I'm going to say that till I'm blue in the face because it's honestly, that's what has to happen. In order for this organization to change, everybody has to be on the same fucking page. We have to go ahead and really build this team out right, whether it's doing it by extra draft picks, building around a quarterback, whatever the direction is, we just gotta go. We just gotta roll with that. And just mind you guys, whoever we pick, this is the guy that's gonna be here for at least the next 5 years. The next 5 years. So we gotta exercise patience, y'all. But again, appreciate you guys. Love to everybody. Salute. I hope you guys are already at the crib. If not, you guys heading home to the crib. But if you guys are already heading to work, I hope you guys have a good shift. If you guys are burning that midnight oil, you guys on the grind. Appreciate you guys being there. already know how it feels. So I'm right there with you. But I hope this helps. Again, I'll rock with you guys. Make sure you guys tap in on Wednesday with the connection show. I'll be on with the guys. I'll be on with Jeff, Leo, Nate. We're gonna go ahead and talk about the head coaches. And now we're officially in the off season. Head coaches, Fernando Mendoza. We're gonna be probably kind of previewing a little bit of that upcoming national championship game next Monday. So we'll definitely get into that. So we probably honestly won't know our next head coach probably for another month. We'll see. So other than that, appreciate you guys. That is my time for today. I will see you guys next time. And always remember, just Raiders, baby. Peace.
J-Raider, the creator with the killer content, hot takes and the dopest. Gas Raider Nation, from Oakland to LA to in Vegas. Nothing greater than the Raiders, only facts. Just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders. Stand up. Just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders. Welcome to the channel. It's called Just Raiders, baby. If you ain't subscribed, then you gotta try. Just Raiders, baby, nothing but love for the Raiders. Been an OG before 93. Shout out to the nation, they always crazy. So nation, ride with me, taking over my style. It's amazing, making hits like Max on the blitz. The silver and black, on the attack. They on the map, if you a fan and you with that. J-Raider, the creator with the killer content, hot takes and the dopest. Gas Raider Nation, from Oakland to LA to in Vegas. Nothing greater than the Raiders, only facts. Just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, J-Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders, just Raiders. Putting on shows like Brock on the go. We just like J-Raider, the innovator, making shows like Good Morning Raiders, the originator. Raiders Unfiltered, raw, never censored. The post-game reaction, nothing but action. Just Raiders, baby. Just Raiders. Just Raiders, baby. J-Raider, the creator with the killer content. Hot takes and the dopest, yes. Raider Nation, the only nation. There ain't no question.
Just win, baby.
Win, baby.
Just win.
Ray!